All right, welcome to Grapecast Volume 10. Tonight we're going to learn more about the Sixpoint out of New York. We'll have some special guests joining us soon. We have Ashley. Right now she's at a Girls Pint Out event, and so we're waiting for her to finish up with that. And then hopefully we'll have Shane from Sixpoint on with us in a little bit. So I have Keely here. Keely, how's it going?
Going
Doing good?
well.
Going well. And what are you drinking tonight? We're all drinking Sixpoint product.
I'm drinking the Sweet Action. It's
Sweet.
their pale cream wheat ale.
You got it. You got it right that time. Okay, and then Tony, what about you? What's going on?
Nothing much. I've got the four beans.
So you're starting
Excellent.
with dessert tonight, huh?
Yes. Yes.
I hope that you've already eaten your dinner.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So it's time for
pretty
dessert.
heavy. It's pretty heavy. Okay, and then I've got the Bengali. I haven't had it for a while, and as I recall, it said something to the effect of that it used to be called the Bengali Tiger. I mean, did y'all read any of that?
I saw something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what if the tiger got offended. That's what I tell all of our clients. That the tiger got offended. So anyway, I don't know if we need to talk about Sixpoint. I was watching a lot of videos. There's already a lot of interviews of Shane. I don't know if we need to talk about that or not.
I was just looking up the Bengali. I think it was actually called the Blind Tiger at some point.
Like the original.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
And this is you're talking about some of the videos that we watched. I'm always interested in how people decide on like which products to sell and that type of thing. And one of the videos, Shane was talking about how they decided which beers they were going to be like their core brands. He
Hmm.
said they put out like 40 beers and just said, "Hey, what do we go through fast?" And
Right.
so they ended up with like their Sweet Action, their Bengali, and that type of thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So
Interviewed along the way, you know.
yeah, you know, I was talking about the Sweet Action for a second because I think it's like a good entry point beer. Um, like cream ales are really easy to transition to from lagers and that type of thing. And this one's really nice. It's got a little bit of hops, but nothing overpowering or that an IPA drinker wouldn't, someone who doesn't like IPAs wouldn't like. It's really smooth and refreshing.
Yeah, the cream ale in general has been very good to us, I think. I mean, we have a lot of people that drink wine, and for some reason now they're drinking the Sweet Action. So, and she sneezes.
I didn't sneeze because of the beer. The beer's keeping the sneezes at bay.
The plague, all the plague.
But I've got the Bengali up next and some ice here. Um,
Yeah, you
right.
got lucky with that Tony already had beer.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got real lucky.
So you owe Tony a beer, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Um, so the Bengali, have you had that, Keely? Not since we had the keg, that's what you said.
Yeah, I haven't had it out of the can, but I'm just pulling it out of the ice now so it can warm up a touch um, by the time I finish the last few sips of this Sweet Action.
So I was looking at a video earlier, and they were reviewing the resin when it first came out, and they didn't label it as an IPA.
Huh.
What
So
do they label it as?
well, I mean, he had his long thing about as a fusion of two different beers. I wasn't, I didn't write notes down, but it was interesting. It's because they talked about all of the like the citrus and stuff that he adds to it, but it's like essentially the essence of the center of the hops, the lupulin and all that stuff.
Well,
Which there's a lot more to that stuff than I can even fathom, especially after the beer judging class on Sunday. No, there's a lot going on.
Well, like going to the Sixpoint website, they have a lot of interesting stuff behind their beers. And like looking at the resin, you know, they talk about how it's sort of close to a double IPA, but it doesn't really adhere to any of the strict style demands. And so then, like going back to judging, like,
Right.
you know, on one hand, you're evaluating a beer based on how closely it fits to a style, versus you have this beer that tastes really good, so it would probably score poorly if it was entered as a double IPA.
I agree. I agree. That is a good point because that's something that we've talked about. Keely and I have talked about this before. Is it ever just going to become standardized? Is it just going to be, this is how you make a brown ale, and then all the brown ales are the same? I mean, I hope that it doesn't, but no, I get it. Like
They say history repeats itself. So if you look back at the German purity laws and that type of thing, you have to wonder like what was going on at that point in time in terms of beer. Did it like get out of control, or you know? And I don't know enough about the history behind it to say, but at some point you got to think we have enough crazy things on the market. People are people going to just be able to keep producing crazy combinations of things, or will just the market kind of control it, and you'll end up with a standardized version of everything to some extent?
No, I agree with you, and that's something that I was reading about the purity laws, as far as some of the theories behind why they were developed was, and I mean it might be the truth, I don't know, but was that they were making sure that the beer market wasn't competing with the bread market. So that's why they eliminated the wheat aspect. So yeah, you're right. I mean, there's no telling.
Well, I mean, if you kind of think about like sort of the law of averages, it seems like it makes sense where if you're a brewer and you want to maximize profit, you're going to make a beer that appeals to the most people.
Right. True. And that's what he was talking about too. I saw another video. He was saying like how far do you push your limits? I mean, you can make the hoppiest IPA. You can make the best, like, but how far do you push the limits of the guidelines as far as the beer styles are concerned? So, I mean that's kind of an interesting concept, because we've even talked about that as far as just the whole thing in general. Like, how far do you go?
Mm-hmm. Which is best beer. You guys are talking about like beer styles, but the average consumer beer drinker doesn't know anything about the profile of double IPA, for example. They just know I drank a double IPA and I liked it or I didn't, and then you go and try something and you're like, well, that's not what I associate with it. Whether what you tried initially was the standard or not, that now becomes your reference point for all future ones. So, to some extent, it's like the craft beer brewers and that type of thing, they're sort of setting the standard in some of these cases where nobody's ever tried anything other than your traditional lager, and then they go out and they try something and it's like, oh wow, it's supposed to be fruity or have these flavors and that type of thing. Whether or not it adheres to the actual standards, that a beer aficionado would know. Sort of like wine,
No, I agree with you. I think we're messing up here a little bit.
I think Tony dropped out and came back on, it looked like.
Okay. Yeah, no, what I was going to say about that is, there's a lot to be said, and you have to tell me as far as marketing is concerned, but, you have this new group of people, this younger group of people that they're into certain things. I mean, people talk all the time about hippie beers or hipster beers or whatnot, but I believe that they're setting the standards. I mean, it's all kind of coming back together as far as, I mean, even not just with beer stuff, but you can see it at the farmers market. I mean, people go and pay sometimes like 20% more just to support something that they feel is local. You know,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean, is that something that you see when you're studying your stuff?
like the local movement's huge, and community supported agriculture, buy local, that type of thing. And that's one of the big appeals of these craft breweries is there's so many of them are local. And even if you just look in Columbia, we've got what, 4 breweries that have opened in the last 2 years. So it's
Yeah.
something people can get behind because they know the people, they know the neighborhood, and now the beer, they take some ownership in it. Um, which I think will be really interesting to see, like how a lot of these craft um, breweries deal with um, expanding their distribution. So if part of the appeal is having a local market, and now you're going across the country, how do you maintain that sort of authenticity of I'm a Columbia beer when now you're selling in California?
Well, yeah, and I've seen some stuff about that. I mean, as far as I mean, we know that just at the gallery. If you want to do something, you want to expand something, then it costs more money. I mean, you have to put money in there in order to grow. Oh gosh, she's got another one popped. But you have to put more money in order to grow. So the more you grow, the more money you have to put into it. I mean, it's like a continual process, especially if you go really fast. But I mean, how scary it would it be to like come into South Carolina? I mean, if you think about that point of view, if you're in New York and you're like,
I'd
I'm
love
going
to.
to South Carolina. Like, what? What is
Yeah,
that?
when we do talk to Shane, I'd love to know, like, why do you pick South Carolina? Um, he
Well,
was.
I know why it is. It's that lady right there. I mean, she says that she sells good SHIT, and she does. I mean,
Yeah,
she's phenomenal.
I think
But
it's interesting. You look at the markets he's in. In Oregon in the Northeast, where they're from, in Florida and Texas, and then now in the Carolinas. I mean, I've never thought of us
yeah,
as really a huge consumer draw market, but population-wise, we're nothing.
yeah. But I mean, also we have a lot of the culture of, and Tony, you can back me up on this or not. I don't care. We have a lot of the culture of the craft beer culture. I mean, there's people walking around with big beers, and you go, that guy, he knows everything about craft beer. Like he just does. That's just part of it. But we have a lot of that going
That's
on, and
why Tony
I'm not making.
beer seriously.
I know I'm not making fun of it at all, but I mean it's just apparent that people are enjoying local. They're enjoying something that people have put a lot of hard work and time into, and then they can relate, especially if it's local. I mean, a lot of people that are local, they know someone that works at a brewery. I mean, they just know someone. They're always involved. Like there's always some connection, and they just know what's going on. So I mean, it just spreads. So
The interesting thing about it is the South is like a real big beer drinking culture. And if you look at SEC schools, they're known for their tailgating. And in fact, I saw like the top 15 schools for tailgating poll recently, and half of them were SEC schools.
wow,
So we're known for a beer drinking, but I wouldn't say we're necessarily known for drinking good beer. So this is definitely a shift that you can see in the market. And talking about shifts in drinking, um, I was reading this one article, and I don't remember who put it out, but they were talking about the females 21 to 34. I said 18 to 20, but let's face it,
yeah,
21 to 34. How that's traditionally has been a wine drinking group, and now that group is really embracing craft beer. And you see it a lot with like what Ashley and April are doing with Girls Pine Out. You have this large group of um, females getting behind going out and learning about beer and trying all these craft beers, and going out to the breweries and doing site tours. So it's something really unique that the beverage industry is faced with, is like a complete shift.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Tony, you've been involved in some of those
Well,
switches.
one thing that I wonder, I was just thinking about it, because like the number one selling beer is Bud Light, but like,
Right.
what if Budweiser bought your favorite craft beer company? They just left it alone, but they own it. So it's the same beer made by the same people, tastes the same. Do you still like it as much?
Absolutely. I
Well,
do.
I mean, well, that's the thing. There's a lot of these places that are owned by bigger people.
Hmm.
I mean, there are, and we don't know anything about. Well, some of us know some things about it. So, I mean, that is a hard thing to think or
Because
to
I
talk
bet
about.
you, like some of those bearded craft beer guys, as soon as like their favorite brewer sells out, then they're done with it. Even if it tastes the same and it's the same people making it, they'll just be done with it because of the principle of the thing.
So it's more of the culture. It's more of the culture of this is a small community, support local, a certain person, and not like a huge corporation kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah, but that's where it goes back to how they present themselves, whether they maintain sort of that separation between the big parent company or they really embrace it. I mean, look at Kosh, the cereal. They're owned by I want to say it's like Mondelez or something, but they're owned by either General Mills or Mondelez, like one of the big cereal companies. But you don't see that anywhere. Very separate. So let's say if Sixpoint was purchased by InBev, I mean, I can't imagine that they would you know, reposition it all. You'd still be this like Sixpoint mad science
Hmm.
kind of approach to appeal to it. But I definitely agree with you. People would throw it out of their refrigerator if they knew that.
I mean, I would like it just the same. I don't care. But yeah, that there are people out there that'd be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, and they would be. But I mean, then you start thinking if you are a distributor or you are a brewer, like how far do you think that you're going to go? I mean, do you start building to be some sort of regional or national or some like Guinness is worldwide kind of stuff? I mean, how do you know? I mean, I've heard of some local breweries that are struggling a little bit, but there's always struggles. There's always stuff that you have to get through. But eventually, you have to see something and be like, all right, we just got to go for it. I mean, and you have to know that your stuff is good.
It makes you think that you'd have to at some point redefine what craft beer is. So you have the independent, innovative, and there's small. So it's like what is it under 800,000 or I don't know the criteria.
She's making up numbers, some sort of number of barrels.
Yeah, you have to be under a certain number of barrels to be considered a craft brewery, right? So that's almost a disincentive for them to grow, like you guys are saying. But at some point, I think you have to almost redefine what a craft brewer is.
No, I agree with that. Tony,
Well,
any thoughts?
to me, it goes back to like the artisanal quality of it. Like using like special ingredients or local ingredients, kind of the idea that it's handcrafted. To me, that sort of matters more than they produce. They produced one barrel more than the definition of craft beer, so now they're not craft beer. You know,
Right.
Exactly.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Well, and really, it's about discovering these ingredients and innovating like left hand with a nitro and using uh, different flowers and whatnot. That's what defines craft breweries, right?
Right. I mean, I understand that, but where does it stop? Like, well, when does it
can't stop.
all stop? Won't stop. I know. I get it. But I mean, there's got to be a certain point where it's like, okay, that's the perfect beer. I mean, there's plenty of beers that have hit hundreds on the score tables. We've had several of them, and it's like, okay, now what? We
Yeah.
get we get hoppier, we get more blonde, we get what do we get?
But I think that goes back to what we were talking about. You're going to end up with some very average beers in each category.
Yeah, I mean, and then it becomes about marketing and labeling, and then we have, names of things. I mean, my gosh, they're running out of names. They all are running out of names. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
Yep.
Well,
Like,
think about music. How back in the day, you had these bands that you followed.
yeah.
Like they were like a brand. But now it's so like you have a flavor of the week. And it's kind of like with some of these beers. They show up, they have this awesome label, and like, the bearded monkey golden ale or something, and then next week it's some other bearded animal lager. I mean, there's a new thing every week that looks cool, and how, you buy it because the label looks neat, or I mean, how much of it turns into this brand that you follow and you're loyal to because that they make good stuff.
Well, it gets down to this reason to believe, right? Like, why am I willing to try a Sixpoint beer that I've that I've never tried before? Because I just trust that they're gonna make a good beer. Why am I willing to pay $7 for a beer I've never tried before? Because I know that I like what they've made in the past.
Yeah, and I think that's what you strive for. I mean, that's the only thing that you can do as a small brewery is you get on the board quick. I mean, you get on Beer Advocate quick. You get on Untapped quick. I mean, you make sure that people know that other people approve. I mean, and that goes back to the small culture of things. Like, if Keely says that I had this beer at wherever she was, then I'm going to believe her because at Grapes and Gallery, that's right. If you have the Gaslight Porter at Grapes and Gallery next week out of Brewery, then you know that it's going to be a good beer, very good beer. So, I mean, that's just the thing. It's word of mouth. It's the same kind of thing that we're doing as far as marketing and spreading what we do, but who knows?
Well, I have to say that I'm drinking this Bengali right now, and I really like it. It's a great, easy transition from the sweet action, and very, very good. It's
what do you like about the sweet action?
Well, I like the sweet action because it's got a little bit of the hop flavor, but yet it's still quite smooth. I think you get a little bit of that cream ale kind of mellows it out. And then transitioning to the Bengali, a little bit more hoppy, almost smoky flavor.
Yeah, that's good. Tony, are you still doing the 4-bean, or are you?
Yeah, I'm still
about done.
No, I'm halfway. I mean, it's 10%.
I know.
So take your time and enjoy it. Enjoy the Romano beans.
Romano.
Yeah. I mean, it's better the longer it sits, I think, anyway.
Yeah, it releases some of those flavors.
Huh?
What are the 4 beans again?
Oh, the 4 beans. Romano, vanilla.
Cacao.
Yeah, cacao and probably coffee.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was like a Madagascar vanilla or something, and then coffee.
Yeah, and I don't remember where it was. It might have been at that beer judging thing, talking about, or I might have read it, I don't know, talking about how sometimes what you'll do, to get the chocolate flavor, is you add a hint of vanilla. You don't actually add cocoa, but that hint of vanilla sort of brings out that chocolate flavor in the malt. And it's kind of like when you bake cookies, why you add vanilla to it. So it's not to get vanilla flavor, but it's to bring out the chocolate.
Interesting.
That's cool.
And I was going to say that's kind of funny that you mentioned that because when we talked about the fruit beers, they add grapefruit to a lot of the stuff, but it ends up tasting a bit orange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's...
No, I've been wondering about the whole grapefruit thing going on. It's everywhere.
It's healthy.
But it's healthy. No, it's not. So my other question about Sunday was, because you mentioned the stuff, whenever we ate the chocolate grain or malt or whatever, I have no idea what I'm talking about. So I'm honestly thinking that might have affected how I tasted everything else.
It's possible. I mean, it was very nutty, and I mean, it lingered on the palate.
It did. So maybe we should serve that with beer. Like you could intensify your flavors. I'm not saying hops, because that was
That
dumb.
wasn't good. No.
No, that was dumb. But I do think that we could do stuff like that. I mean, even the stuff that we have coming up, like the beer and chocolate pairings. I mean, that's going to be so much fun because not beer and chocolate, it's wine and chocolate. Yes, but we're going to do beer and chocolate soon enough.
Yeah, so I think this is a good time to talk about like what we've got coming up, huh?
Yeah, marketing manager, ready, go.
Okay, so
Facebook.com, Grapes and Gallery.
Facebook.com/grapes and gallery. Look at the events. But we've got some really cool events coming up in the next 2 weeks. It's actually pretty jam-packed in the next 2 weeks. Starting with next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're doing a splash wine tasting with Mike, paired with our new painting. So if you sign up for the painting session, you automatically get to participate in this splash wine tasting. So it'll be whatever wines Mike brings. And, you know, it's always a good time with Mike anyway. And then Monday, September 28th, we're having our Epic Wine event for the month, where we're going to have, we're focusing on French wines. We're going to have 6 wines paired with some small bites. That's a ticketed event, so you need to go to our Facebook page, check out the event, and then click on the link to buy your ticket. In addition to being able to taste the wines, you'll also be able to order them at a discounted rate. And then later that week, on Thursdays, first Thursday, October 1st, we're going to be having a chocolate and wine pairing with Evolution Through Chocolate. Amazing little chocolates. And we're going to do 4 different chocolates with 4 wines. And that's also the link to buy the ticket is on the
Facebook.com/Grapes and Gallery. This beer is ridiculous. It's making you crazy.
It's on you click the event, and then
it's just making me crazy. But
it's not even science. It's magic. It is.
It's
like
mad
magic.
science. It's mad science. But the last event that I'm super excited about is the Saturday, October 3rd. We're having a yoga and wine event, which will be awesome.
Yes, and so we talk about yoga a lot at the gallery, and it's something that we've a lot of us have taken up pretty seriously lately because it's great to like balance your day and whatnot, and it's great physical activity as well. So we're very excited to partner with Yoga Masala and with Dara to have that event. So you'll do the yoga first. We will not do the wine first. Trust me, I've had experience doing the wine and then the yoga, and that does not work out very well. So we'll do the yoga first and then come do the wine. And I tasted the wines that are all organic. Some are biodynamic. Keely's going to make a face. Yay. Everything's good. So they were really, really good. So I have notes on all those to give you, Keely, but so we have that ready to go. Anything else you want to talk about?
No,
as far as events are concerned?
I mean, some of this seems like a little bit crazy, probably, if you're not like in our heads or looking at our view. And I think I'll bring it back to Sixpoint. Like, if you go to Sixpoint and kind of look at their website, and there's a link on there called Beer as Culture, and it talks about the evolution of beer through time and that type of thing. Beer, like wine and yoga, have very rich histories, and it's sort of interesting to think about them in parallel and their similarity in terms of the more you practice tasting beer and wine, the more flavor you get from it, the better understanding you have of it. The same thing is true with yoga. The more you practice yoga, the different experience you have each time. So all this stuff sort of comes together to create this experience that's very similar and where you're just looking to have a better understanding and be in the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I've also thought about, because Tony and I have talked about the balance of beer as far as like something that's more malty or something that's more hoppy. So, I mean, that's the same with yoga and with everything else. I mean, you have to find a balance. You have to find what works for you. So, anything else? Anyone? Anyone?
No,
Do we need?
I
Do y'all want to go through anything else that we talked about earlier? Or? I know that I'm very interested in getting one of those homebrew kits from. Sorry to leave it on you. One of those homebrew kits from resin. I'm sorry,
Oh
from
yeah,
Sixpoint about the resin. So
yeah.
would that be like a good intro for us to get started with something like that?
I think it might be too easy. I have a feeling, because I was reading a little bit about the coffee pot brewing after R&D got on it, and so I mean, and I've read a lot of bad experiences, just in terms of the beer wasn't great, but it was a good learning experience.
Okay.
And so that's what I kind of think would be fun about that. The kit looks awesome, but I don't know how, like I said, how easy they made it. Because if they made it too
Yeah,
easy,
we'll see.
it's good, you get a good beer, but then how much do you learn from that process?
So is that available to purchase online and have it shipped to the mail, or is that considered alcohol at that point? Like, what is the point of conception with this?
It looks like you can get it shipped to your place.
Okay, cool. And we should.
and I've got the coffee pot ready to go.
Yes.
You just need a cheesecloth, mason jars, and rubber bands.
I've got mason jars. Somebody gets cheesecloth and rubber bands. We're good to go.
Then we're good to go.
We're
Yeah.
on it. We're on it. That's awesome.
Tony,
Okay.
you'll have to help me eat some green beans to have more mason jars though.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I think I can make time for that.
Oh my gosh. And just to let you know, Keely, you asked me earlier what we're getting on the tap this week. So the Gullah Cream Ale Blue, the Free House Green Door is going to go soon. So I'm trying to find a replacement for that one. But we are going to get the Revelry's Gaslight Porter, which is 5.3%. Tony and I had that. I told you that already. But also, I mean, it's really good. I think it's really good. And we got a lot of good response off of the Gullah Cream Ale. I can't wait to get that back. But I am really excited about going to visit them and seeing what other stuff they have going on. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So Team Grapes, if you're not already a part of that, then you're missing out on some firsthand stuff. But and then Ashley's back. Hey, Ashley. Uh-oh.
Is she back?
She's back.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good. I saw Shane just pop back online, so I sent him the more correct link again. Hopefully he will respond.
Okay. Either way, we've had a good time talking about him. I'm just kidding.
Good. He
How
said,
did the event go?
I thought this was at 7:45, and I said 8 p.m. Eastern.
Aw.
I did.
Maybe we can catch him another time. At least we're prepped for it.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's all my fault. We'll go there. That's fun.
Oh,
I
that's not
know.
your fault.
Are you kidding me? Stop it.
Stuff happens.
He's such a great guy.
Tell me about your event. I want to know how the last tasting went. I don't know why I keep clicking on you when you're not there. But
Oh, okay. So we had a Beer 101 here at Southern Brood. They're a fairly new establishment off Clemson Road. If you don't know, the northeast of Columbia has been kind of a dead area as far as craft beer goes in Columbia.
yes.
Sam's on Killian Road opened up last August. Before that, there wasn't much out here at all. But now now we have the wonderful folks at Southern Brood, and there's talk of a third one opening up further down towards Pontiac.
Wow.
A collaboration with a homebrew supply shop, name to be determined, but opening up in the next couple of months. So we'll see how that goes. Three
awesome.
places in the Northeast would be awesome.
No, it would be. That'd be
Yeah.
great. I have a lot of people that travel in from that, so like hold off a little bit.
I know. We got to convert people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, do you have anything else to say to us, Ashley? Because we were just going to talk through a few more things.
No, you know, Shane's still online right now, so maybe he'll pop in. I swear I told him originally.
No, don't even worry about it. But what about the new beers that we're getting this week?
The next one for our beers, not just Sixpoint?
No, for me. You
Oh.
know, it's all about me right this moment.
So the porter from Revelry?
Yes.
Okay.
Keely didn't get to try it.
Oh, it's delightful. So you get a lot of like dried or like the cocoa powder up front and the aroma. And then in the flavor, you get a lot of roasty character, like a coffee sort of thing, but it's mild to moderate. I wouldn't call it overly roasty. And then there's just a bit of a kind of a dry finish because it's a porter. You don't want anything that's got a lot of creamy finish. So it's really good.
It definitely
I
is.
can't wait to try it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's awesome. People are going to really dig it. I mean, I have not served it to a person yet who hasn't loved it. So
Yeah,
I was debating if the stuff that you passed around that tasted chocolatey in class kind of affected my palate for the gaslight. And if it did, then I need to serve that to all my clients.
yeah. No, it's pretty chocolatey, and different people get different things. So I get chocolate throughout, but then some people only get coffee in the flavor. But the chocolate to me is especially prominent in the aroma.
Yeah, they're doing really good stuff. That Gullah Cream Ale, people are going to be mad at me that that's gone. I mean, they're already mad at me.
We'll get more. We promise.
Okay, well, let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know. And hopefully you can join us on the 18th for our little quick Charleston Brew tour.
Yeah. So next time we schedule it, yeah, he didn't pay attention. He said 7:45 Pacific, which I would have said Pacific, but I said Eastern because that's where we are. So
that's where we reside.
Yeah. We'll get it right next time, though.
We've had a great time chatting.
Great.
Yes.
At least he's responding to my emails.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, get home, and thanks for joining in.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Gonna eject her from the call. Just kidding.
Well, I'm excited to try the Gaslight tomorrow, so make sure there's a glass ready for me when I come.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, I mean, I know it has to settle for like at least a day for it to be any good, but we'll jump in on it as soon as we can. They actually, I mean, they deliver this stuff cold, so it should be fine as long as we don't have to shake it up too much getting it into the house. But is there anything else that y'all want to talk about Sixpoint before we go? Or I was going to tell you the other stuff that I got before she jumped on. Trying to think of which one I went with. I had to get 2 cases of something, so I got the Evil Twins Lil B, LILB. Look it up. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Don't want to know if it's. So I got that. It had some good ratings, and then ended up with. Oh, what was the other one that we finally went on? We were looking at the. Oh man, some bad stuff. We were looking. No. I was trying to think of the other one. The Ryan and the Gosling.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of them. Let's see, what was the other one? Yeah, a lot of these, I mean, the names are just ridiculous. Yeah, Ryan and the Gosling. We're looking at that one. I was looking at the Molotov Light, from Evil Twin, but I feel like that when we tasted it the other day, it was too similar to the Citrus Sunshine Slacker, so we kind of stayed away from that one. But then I also looked at the Against the Grain, Citra Ass Down, but they were out of that one. So maybe we'll try to get that later. Oh, God. Let's see, what else? Oh, and then there's the Yacht beer. That's
Yacht.
Stillwater. Is that right? Stillwater?
I think so.
So that one's coming. So we landed on the Stillwater. But there was one Keeley that did have some bad stuff to it. So we'll
Bad
figure that out.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Tony and I have decided that people have run out of names for beers.
Okay.
So,
Well,
and I don't know what little B means, but well, I guess we'll figure it out. So
it must be like a little bumblebee. Bee!
Yeah, something cute and innocent, I'm sure.
cute and innocent. Yeah.
Something that helps
So-
the hops grow.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, okay. Well, I don't have anything else. If y'all don't have anything else, I think it's
That
been
was
good. It's been fun.
that
We
was-
have one. We have one viewer. Whoever our viewer is, hey, if it's Sam, hey. If it's
Hey.
Sam, go stop watch. Oh, 0 viewers now. Oh, darn.
Oh, it scared her off.
Scared. Oh, yeah, it wasn't. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Go
See
to
ya.
grapes. Grape cheers.
Oh, wait. Hold, please.
Bengali,
So
Bengali.
apparently they took a long time to come to market, by the way, just a little less. But like they took a long time. They were just serving in local breweries and growlers and stuff. Like as far as like cans. Okay, that's all I got. Okay, that was your last little PS. All right. See you soon. Grapesandgallery.com, Facebook.com/grapesandgallery.
1113 Street behind Mass General Store.
Yeah, that too. Instagram, all of that stuff, and YouTube. Okay, thanks, guys.